It is finally about that time. Harley Davidson has just about, I don't know, 7 hours ago, on the 2nd of January, actually released some of the paint schemes for the 2025 models. Now, this isn't every single model they're coming out with, just what it looks like. A lot of rollover models, a lot of the big updates we're not seeing on these specific models. However, paint schemes are crazy. So to reiterate, some of the models they have released, they are showing actually here on their Harley Davidson website. You go over to bikes, new motorcycles, and then right there you can see 2025 new motorcycles. We go to that real quick and let this load up. You can see 2025 Grand American Touring, and here we can actually see the Road King Special, the Street Glide, the Road Glide, and if we actually scroll down, we have the 3 trike models as well. Notice we don't have anything for sport, adventure touring like the Pan Am, or the Cruiser as well. They just say, you know, they're on their way, check back soon. But we're actually going to jump into each different motorcycle. So we're going to open up the Road King Special right now. So starting at 25,749. What was the 2024? So it looks like it did get an upgrade, or at least the price has been risen on the Road King Special, which we're actually see that as a theme for the Street Glide and the Road Glide as well. So 24,999 now actually to 25,749. So it's gone up about $750 for your Road King Special. But I mean, looking at it, nothing is actually really changed on the bike whatsoever. If we actually go to the whole build your own area, this will all load up. So we have only 3 color options, which it's very similar to kind of what we had for the 24s as well. But obviously the trim, black, is you can only do black, so they didn't open up a chrome at all. But no other updates with it other than paint. You're still rocking the 114, the 2-to-1-to-2 exhaust. Everything up here is the exact same. There's no TFT, which I wasn't sure if they would actually, if they did an update to it, put it in like the Sportster S's TFT on this motorcycle. So the 4-inch display there, they haven't seen to do that. So right now it's just 3 color options, and there's only one new color this year, which is the one we're actually seeing right now, Whiskey Fire. Obviously the new base color starting from 2024's Billiard Gray. Harley finally started charging for black. It was always the base color for a while, but it's always been one of the most popular, so I'm surprised it took them this long to honestly start charging for black. But the new entry for your Road King is the Whiskey Fire paint, first introduced in 2024 this past year. So that is pretty cool to see overall, but fairly disappointing too. For the Road King not getting any type of new upgrades or anything like that, that's a little bit sad in itself. I was really hoping this bike could at least get the 117 on it as well, just like the Street Glide and Road Glide. However, we're gonna have to wait a bit longer, it seems, for that. Now, the next 2 bikes we're actually going to be looking at now are the Street Glide and the Road Glide as well. Now, one other thing that a lot of us have seen that was going to happen this year was a price increase for these 2 models. We now see the Street Glide starting at 27,749 and the Road Glide at almost an even 28. Now, this is roughly $2 grand more now for the Road Glide, where the Street Glide is actually $150 less now compared to the Road Glide, which is pretty nuts. We knew they were both going to go up in price, but seeing how there's about $150 difference or so between the 2 models really shows that the Road Glide has been the most popular model by far this year. That's what I've seen. A lot of the dealerships and the dealership I work at, we have seen that the Road Glides have been the most popular bike by far this year. However, we are going to look at each one in general. That way we can kind of get a good look, because sometimes things just look better on a different bike. So still your Billiard Gray on chrome, that is going to be an absolute base right there. And you still have the black option for black out, which is pretty good. Let's go back to chrome. So we got Billiard Gray, we got Vivid Black, we got Atlas again, which I thought, when I saw this earlier today when I was actually at work, I thought that was very interesting. That's 3 years in a row now that we've seen this Atlas Silver metallic paint job. We saw it in 23, we saw it again in 24. It looks like now we're actually getting it again in 25. So that's a little bit interesting as well. You do have blue burst. I heard that might have been a returning color, so that is cool to see. That's a very popular color this year as well. But with the chrome trim, you also get brilliant red, which this looks kind of like it. I like this red. It's not quite red line, not as bright, but if it's true to this, which it never is, we're gonna have to see one in person to really kind of understand the paint and really see how it reacts to light and the sunlight, especially too. Online pictures never does Harley Davidson paint justice. But brilliant red, I really like this red. It looks really nice. Then we have Iron Horse metallic, which I don't like. Judging from this, it almost gives it a green hue. I doubt that's what it's gonna look like in person, but who's really there to say? And then the other one I saw, which is I think my personal favorite, is Mystic Shift. Now this is like a purple blue, and when you actually start to turn the bike, depending on how the light's hitting it and how you're actually viewing it, the hue of it's going to kind of change from blue to purple, very similar to that of 2021 back when you had Snake Venom. So actually going around this bike, this Mystic Shift looks really, really nice. But let's now go to the black trim option. Now this black trim, there's our Billiard Gray, our Vivid Black Classic. Now you actually have a white onyx pearl, which was that okay, so that's actually something new. White onyx pearl on black trim, not chrome. This year, this current model year for 24s, you could actually get that in either chrome or black. So they actually made that trim specific now. So that's quite interesting. Still premium paint price, which is cool. So you can get that brilliant red, the Iron Horse metallic as well, which that's got a good mean look to it. But it's been a few years. Harley Davidson has come back with a denim paint, Purple Abyss denim, which I really, really want to see this in person. This looks, it's one of my favorites, not my favorite. Mystic Shift is probably the top for me, but this looks really, really nice so far, at least just judging from the computer thing. We also have Whiskey Firestorm. So Whiskey Fire paint, but we got flames back, which is nice. And they're not too crazy. They don't like stick out. They're there, you can see them, but they don't stick out, which is pretty nice. Let's go to Midnight Firestorm, so black with more gray flames, and then again, your Mystic Shift on black. And one thing I did notice earlier, whenever you're looking at any of these other paints, let's look at the badging real close. So this is the style of badging, I believe, the same as what we see this year. Same all the way up to Brilliant Red. However, actually going through these, as soon as you get to these higher premium, so not exactly just premium paint, but I don't know what to call it, a specialty paint perhaps, you'll actually see the badging changes up. So we have this, it's more of like a red orange. We go to this, I don't know if that's the same color badging, but what's actually really cool is it does change when you go to Mystic Shift. It's kind of has a little bit of purple in the triangle part of the badging, which is really, really neat. So let's go take a look at the Road Glide now. Now, obviously, so it's going to be very similar to the Street Glide. You're going to have your Billiard Gray, Vivid Black, Atlas Silver Metallic, your Blue Burst. Now we have Brilliant Red, your Iron Horse. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that color this year. But again, that Mystic Shift, which I really, really like this color a lot. I like how it changes depending on just how you're looking at the bike itself. But let's go over to black trim. We're going to see the same type of thing in terms of the paint varies. So we got our Billiard Gray on black, Vivid Black, White Onyx Pearl. Again, this is black trim only. Now in 2025, we now have our Brilliant Red, which I would say that actually looks pretty good. I like that brilliant. I like red in general, and that's a nice red. Iron Horse, still not sure how I feel about that. Purple Abyss Denim, this will be very, very interesting to see. I've actually had a couple people who have come into the dealership asking for like, hey, I really want a purple bike, but I want a Harley paint purple, and it's got to be new. And I'm like, well, 2024, they don't make that. This year, we got 2 purples pretty much, which is pretty freaking cool. So, Whiskey Firestorm. See the actual flames on that. It looks like it's just staying on the side, doesn't come up top here. You got your Midnight Firestorm, which... Okay, there doesn't appear to be any flake in this paint, so it's just black with flames. I was very, very curious if they're going to do any type of flake within this Midnight Firestorm, similar to how the Roguelite CVOST, the Raven Black Metallic, has that metal flake in it. I was really curious if they're going to do anything with that, but does it appear so? And then here's that Mystic Shift on the black trim as well. And of course, looking at this hasn't changed in terms of pricing for either the Street Glide or the Rogue Glides. Trim, chrome is standard, black 1350 added. Bitter gray is your standard. Vivid black 600, that's unchanged. Your white onyx pearl, that's unchanged. Brilliant red and iron horse, those are premium paints, 850 standard. Same with the purple abyss, so that's actually just a premium, it's not a specialty paint, which is kind of cool and interesting too. But when you start to look at your Firestorm paints, that's an added 2900, and then your Mystic Shift is an added 2200. So if you're looking to get something that was like maybe like the Midnight Firestorm, you're gonna be looking upwards of at least 32,250. So that's actually pretty interesting in itself. Obviously the price has gone up a little bit too. So let's go look at the trike models next. So first, starting off with the freewheeler, going off of at least first glance of the pricing for the trikes, I don't think they've changed at all, going from memory with about 32, 35, 38 all starting out at, so I don't think the pricing has really changed at all. But also with that, there's been no significant update, at least with the freewheeler, just at least going by looking at it, still 114, same breather, wheels haven't changed. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's changed, and it's just like the Road King, where black trim is standard, billiard gray standard paint, but you can also go vivid black, which is that pinstripe. That pinstripe I feel like looks different. Same with the badging. Maybe that's also something different on this. I'm not exactly sure. But again, just like the Road King, the Whiskey Fire paint job, which with the black pinstriping, I think that accents it quite well, seeming that you can only do black trim on the freewheeler. Now going to your Rogue Glide 3, nothing really seems to have changed either. Still the old Rushmore fairing on there. Wheels, I think, look pretty standard, again, featuring the badging and that pinstripe as well, which I'm kind of curious, actually, real quick. I actually want to see the Rogue Glide 3, but I want to see the 2024, because I'm not sure if that badging and that pinstripe was there, and apparently it was there. Okay, so that is not anything new. Okay, that's interesting to see. So the badging and the pinstripe, that is just like 2024 models, so that's interesting. But chrome or black trim, at least looking at the chrome, we got vivid black, Whiskey Fire, so we're getting that on the trike as well as blue burst. I know we saw these, I believe, in the tri glides this year, so now finally getting it available to your Rogue Glide 3s. Now if we switch over to black, we do get a couple other color options, which is pretty cool. So still billiard gray, vivid black, but now you can get your white onyx pearl, which is also at least on the limiteds. It wasn't on the tri glide, however, at least not for 2024. You can also get that purple abyss denim, which I kind of actually like that. The denim's growing on me quite a bit. And then you also got your Whiskey Firestorm as well, which no complaints there. Last up, it's time for the good old tri-glide. Good old FLHDCUTG. God, you make these freaking long, Harley. Anyways, one big update that I don't know if you would have clocked already. Tri-glide's now actually coming offered with black trim now. And it looks like, I mean, if this is correct, now some of this could still change. I don't know if some of the pricing might change too with the paints. This was just put on today. We've already noticed a few different like spelling errors and some of the things too that just didn't make sense. However, it's saying right here, chrome standard, black standard. So it looks like maybe you can actually go to chrome or black and it's no extra cost. It's just different paint options. We're gonna start with chrome first. Chrome, you got your billiard gray, vivid black, we're always gonna see those, but you got your iron horse metallic with that nice silver pinstriping as well. Kind of goes well actually with the chrome. And then whiskey fire and vivid black, which I'm kind of interested to see how some people think of this color scheme, because it reminds some people of a certain CVO, and the last time Harley did that with what was it, Battleship Gray, pissed a lot of people off, which grandly so. But let's also switch over now to black. Let's go to billiard gray, black. So that's how, that's technically, if this is correct, standard trim. Still, chrome and black are standard, I guess, both standard, but your billiard gray, so it's got a nice look to it. Your vivid black, which I didn't actually point this out already too, Harley gave the Tri-Glide the different wheels as well that we see on the RG3, the Road Glide 3, or also the Freewheeler as well. We gotta have these different styles, bigger spoke wheels. Honestly, I like it. I think they look more badass, so personally, that's a thumbs up from Harley there. Now we're getting an Atlas Silver Metallic again as well, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if this is not going to load. It doesn't look like it's going to load at all. It loads some of it, but not all of it, so we're gonna have to cancel that out. Interesting. Okay, so here's your Whiskey Fire Vivid Black. Again, this was literally just added earlier today. Harley, as far as I know, has not made any type of announcement about it, and I was trying to keep tabs on it at work today, and I wasn't seeing really any crazy, or wasn't really seeing anything at all information wise. So that's why I'm kind of, as soon as I got home, ate a little bit of food, trying to do a little bit of research for you guys. But also get that Whiskey Fire Vivid Black with that black trim, your Iron Horse Metallic Vivid Black, so you get a nice two-tone, which I don't think so. I think this is just I think it's just glitching out. I'm not sure if that red pinstriping's actually there. It might be that there might be a nice red pinstripe, which I kind of don't mind that at all. And then you also got your Mystic Shift, so it's getting that snake venom but blue and purple vibe going on with the Tri-Glide as well. Now again, these are going over all the different paint options that we at least have available for now. We haven't had any word on the cruiser line, the Softails. We have trikes, but we don't have anything about the Pan Am or the sport models as well, like the Nicer Special and Sportster S. So we haven't heard anything in terms of what updates do they have. So of course, funnily enough, while I'm actually recording this video, I just saw 26 minutes ago, so probably when I started editing, Harley actually released on their Facebook the first of our 2025 bikes are rolling out, featuring bold paint, striking graphics, and fresh new features, but this is just the beginning. More bikes are on the way, coming January 23rd, which I believe is a Thursday. Stop by your local dealership and be one of the first to see them or learn more. So that's the first update we've seen on these bikes, and we can just get a little bit more of a picture here, which we can see the brilliant red. I believe that has to be the silver, right? That can't be the white, because white doesn't get offered on chrome trim. That's chrome trim, so it must be the metallic silver. Did they come with metallic? I don't even remember. And then it looks like we got the Whiskey Fire Road King right here. Again, doesn't have any of the updates to it. Same style wheels too, just real quick. And then going to the trike models, you got your Freewheeler. It looks like it's in black, I want to say. I don't know if the Road Glide 3's in black or if it's at that Iron Horse metallic paint. And then it looks like you have that brilliant red, or was it like a Whiskey Fire two-tone? I can't remember. It's one of those two. So there's some of the changes, just a little close-up look, but Harley has just announced this too, so I figured I'd kind of interrupt the editing real quick. But yep, January 23rd, that's when we can expect so much more information on a lot of the models we're really curious about as well. All right, back to the video. What are the new paints? But we can only assume that there's going to be some change around those categories since they haven't shown anything yet. These are all bikes they had this year. The Street Glides and Road Glides had the updates already on them, just like they are going to feature in 2025 as well. So they showed us some of those paints, which is pretty cool. Same with the trikes. Everything's fairly unchanged apart from like Tri-Glide. You got the new wheels on it as well as a black trim option, different paints too, but no other information in terms of the sport models, venture touring, or the cruisers as well. I know there's quite a few rumors going about that I actually have covered in previous videos as well. Some of them that I think are very plausible to happen. I'm not exactly sure. We don't get told much either until bikes are released. And this is the first we've heard about some of these paints as well. So that's pretty cool. But let me know, what is your favorite? Mine, it's got to be this Mystic Shift. I really, really like how this looks. This and the Purple Abyss Denim. Purple is my favorite color. So I would say Mystic Shift is probably one of my favorites as well. But let me know, which one do you really want to see in person? Which one's your favorite? If you had to pick a Street Glide, Road Glide, a trike, any of them, which one would you pick? What trim and what color? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one.